So, I try not to talk about the whole dumpster fire that is going on at Warner Brothers right now. It's bad, but I feel like I have to talk about it because they keep coming out with like more stuff keeps coming out about this merger and about everything else that's going on at the time, and it's just so fucking bad. It is just one shit show after another. It is just one horrendous mess, back to back to back to back, and it's bad, guys. It's just so fucking bad. I don't talk about most of it because it's just like, it's fucked up. It's pretty fucked up. Even like, it's getting to the point where like there's now like producers inside Warner Brothers who are literally telling outside creators to get up, pack up, and go somewhere else. Now we do know that some of the cartoons they did manage to save. Batman Caped Crusader, it's being bid on by Hulu, Apple Plus, and Netflix. I'm kind of backing. I think it might be. I don't think Netflix is going to get it. I'm kind of hoping Hulu does, because Hulu is kind of making a run for everything nowadays. There's also. It's not all bad. We do know that the Matt Reeves Batman universe is saved. We do know that there is other stuff that is protected. But there is some, but it is, for the most part, it is just bad. It's just bad, guys. It's just so horrendous right now. It's not even funny. And this is kind of a red flag, and it does kind of make me think of what else could be gone in the future. That being that we have gotten news, we have received news that basically, we've basically received news that like fucking this is big. Like, this is big, and yeah, Legendary is reportedly, keep in mind, reportedly leaving Warner Brothers. Now remember, Warner Brothers does not own Legendary. They just partner with them. It's a studio that they partner with. So Legendary literally is planning, like, if the reports are true, that's the other thing you have to keep in mind, is that if the reports are true, then they are planning to pull out and leave and go join the two biggest ones right now that they're repeating. Like, it's either going to be Sony or Paramount they join, and that's really big. That one of, like, Legendary, that has been behind not just the MonsterVerse, but also, like, they have been behind various other films like the Dark Knight trilogy, Pacific Rim, The Man of Steel. Like, they have been behind a lot, and it does bring up a lot of questions of what the fuck is going on. So yeah, Legendary could literally because remember, it's not Warner Brothers. That's what even I forgot, that like, it's not Warner Brothers that Toho made the deal with. It was Legendary. So if they go, then Warner Brothers, like, they can maybe make their own Kong and whatnot, but they lose Godzilla entirely. That's the thing. Like, that's something you really have to look at, is that they literally just lose a whole thing that literally kept them afloat from the post-pandemic era. Like, it was all of that kept them afloat from all of that. So this is major. This is like a major thing that is just occurring, and I am shooketh. I am thoroughly shooketh by what is going on by all of this, because I've never seen, and I talked about this before in a previous video not too long ago, actually, where I literally talked about in the Evil Dead Rise video. I have never seen a company fail this hard and this fast in my fucking life. I thought Bob Chapek, when he took over Disney, was a shit show. That has nothing on David Zaslav, and what he and Discovery have pretty much done to Warner Brothers. And I have contemplated on making a video talking about, is DC Comics in danger? Because I would not be shocked at this point that DC Comics might be sold off to something and they just would take the movie rights. That's something that, like, now it's a legitimate fear. Like, it's a legit fear that, like, DC Comics, because they've been at war with Warner Brothers for a bit, and Cartoon Network is also, like, now, because of the whole creator content that is being just ripped apart every time, it's it's now becoming very clear that like that Warner Brothers is just not a safe place to be right now. It is just it's a shit show. But let's talk a bit about like where could Godzilla, I mean, excuse me, not Godzilla. Well, yes, but where could Legendary partner up with for next? Like, who could they join with next? Like, who could be their new partner if it's not, if they decide to if they can't find a negotiation with Warner Brothers, which I'm kind of suspecting they won't. Who could be the new partner? Now, obviously, the two big ones. Let's talk about them first: Sony and Paramount. You can probably guess which one I would be okay with and which one I wouldn't be. Sony has kind of proven that they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Obviously, with IP characters, look at Spider-Man. So, yeah, Sony I would not trust for the fucking life of me. Paramount, however, if I was to pick among the two, and I'll throw in my hat to who else I think they should go to, I think Paramount is the better option for so many levels. They have a more stable film company. They have a vastly more stable film company. I think they also have a larger budget. I think they have a more user-friendly studio, and these guys really know how to use IP. These guys clearly know how to use IP. I mean, look, they've successfully resurrected Star Trek after keeping it dormant for a while, and they've done a lot with it. I think they've also done a bang-up job with a lot of their other IPs, and they've brought several back. I just think, like, because a lot of people forget that, like, Paramount, if it wasn't for Paramount, we wouldn't have the MCU. Remember, Marvel Studios, before the whole Disney thing, it was being premiered, like, through Paramount. That Paramount was the parent distribution company through several films of Phase 1 of the MCU. So I do think that like Paramount would want to get in on this whole shared universe thing and have their own major studios like have their own hat in the arena, because they already have Star Trek. You think they wouldn't go for Godzilla? Or if at possible, you think they wouldn't try to snatch up DC Comics if that comes to it, which I might do a video on, of talking about what might like the possible future of DC Comics as well, with what's going on with Warner Brothers, because this just really just kind of brings that all back for me. Like I said, Sony is a no-go. I would not trust Sony to save my fucking life with Legendary. I think they would be a little too possessive. I think they would be like, they would constantly want to put their dick into everything that Legendary's trying to do. It wasn't like, say what you want about Warner Brothers right now, but at least they had minimal contact apparently with Legendary and let them do their own thing. So it would stand, but however, Sony doesn't understand the meaning of no and would constantly go over there and just poke at them constantly, Legendary constantly. Whereas I think Paramount would be more like, yeah, do it, yeah, fucking do it, we can make anything. Now, as for another studio I think Legendary should consider partnering with is Universal Studios, and I have multitude of reasons for that. I think Universal Studios, again, really wants to have more of a force against Disney. They're like, Universal in the recent years, since the 2010s, have really been taking it to Disney on every front, and I think they would really want to partner with I think they would really want, like, I think a venture with Legendary and get those IPs of the Monsterverse would be very beneficial to them. Plus, could you imagine the land they could build? Right? And it isn't too far off because, yeah, Universal has built lands off of Warner Brothers IPs. So it would so this would probably make the most sense, because they're already like, yeah, we're aware of what's going on with Warner Brothers. I mean, hell, they did Harry Potter, and they're talking about doing a land with Lord of the Rings at Epic Universe as an expansion. So yeah, I would thoroughly believe that they could do that. So, but of what's going on, I think Paramount would probably be the one they would probably venture with most if they don't come to a deal with Warner Brothers. But yeah, this just kind of shows of how much of a trash fire is going on over at Warner Brothers. Like, it's so bad that literally several branches within the company is suing Zaslav for damages. That's how bad. Like, say what you want about, like, JPEG fucks up, but he doesn't fuck up to the level Zaslav has in this time. So you guys tell me in the comments below, what do you guys think of all this news regarding could Godzilla be finding a new studio home? Just comment below, let me know. Do you think they'll work something out at Warner Brothers? And where do you think this might go? And what movie studio do you think would be best for Legendary in general? Just comment below, let me know. As always, if you haven't already, hit the link below, head on over to my Patreon for exclusive content. And other than that, I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.